In the frozen silence of the northern wilderness, wolves navigate a world built on intuition, strategy, and eerie intelligence. Long before danger appears, and long before humans understand what they're seeing, wolves read the forest like an ancient script. Today, we uncover 6 wolf behaviors so surprising, so little known, that even seasoned researchers struggle to explain them. Section 1. Wolves test human reactions. Wolves are not mindless predators wandering through the snow. They are highly strategic observers, creatures that study their surroundings with quiet precision. One of their most mysterious abilities is something scientists call behavioral probing. Wolves intentionally test how humans react before deciding what to do next. A lone wolf may appear unexpectedly on a distant ridge, not to threaten, but to watch. It'll move closer, stop, tilt its head, then retreat slightly, measuring your response to each movement. Do you freeze? Step back? Raise your arms? Keep walking. Wolves store these details with unnerving accuracy. They categorize humans based on subtle cues: confidence, fear, hesitation, aggression, and even intention. In some regions, researchers noticed wolves slowly circling hikers at a distance, never attacking. Instead, they create controlled scenarios: rustling bushes, sudden stillness, repositioning in the shadows. These tests allow wolves to judge if a human is dangerous, unpredictable, or simply passing through. It's not dominance, it's analysis. What makes this behavior remarkable is that wolves do it deliberately. They change their patterns based on your reactions, mirroring or contrasting your energy. If you remain calm, wolves lose interest. If you panic, their vigilance increases. They read body language the way humans read words. This makes wolves one of the few animals capable of psychological assessment, a trait normally attributed only to primates and humans. Have you ever felt watched in the forest without seeing anything? What do you think a wolf would learn from your reaction? Section 2. The false retreat strategy. Among wolves' most intelligent and unsettling tactics is the false retreat, a behavior almost no other predator uses. When wolves sense a threat, they won't always run or attack. Instead, they may purposely withdraw, but only to manipulate the situation. A pack will spread out, appearing to retreat into the forest. Their movement looks chaotic, but it's a calculated formation. The dominant wolf signals a silent command, and instantly each wolf disappears behind ridges, fallen trees, or patches of tall grass. But they don't flee, they watch. The retreat is never cowardice, it is bait. If a human or animal pursues, wolves guide them, subtly, methodically, toward terrain that favors the pack. Narrow paths, steep slopes, deep snow where movement slows. Once the threat is committed, the wolves reposition. The hunter becomes boxed in, and only then do the wolves reveal themselves again, emerging from every direction. This isn't attack behavior. Often, no confrontation happens at all. The message is psychological. We control this place, not you. Some biologists believe false retreat behavior evolved not for humans, but for rival predators like cougars, lynx, or bears. Wolves lure stronger opponents away from dens, kill sites, or vulnerable pups, without ever needing to fight head-on. This tactic shows a level of spatial intelligence and teamwork rare in the animal kingdom. Wolves turn the landscape itself into a weapon. Do you think wolves retreat because they fear threats, or because they want threats to fear them? Section 3. Wolves recognize human voices better than dogs. We often assume that domesticated dogs understand humans better than wolves ever could. But new research reveals a shocking truth. Wolves can distinguish human voices with greater precision than many dogs. In acoustic studies, wolves were exposed to recordings of strangers, locals, hunters, and caregivers. Their reactions were immediate and accurate. They identified familiarity, tone, aggression, and even emotional state. They turned toward friendly voices, stiffened at hostile ones, and completely ignored neutral conversation. Wolves listen not just for sound, but for intent. Unlike dogs, who rely heavily on visual signals, wolves evolved to interpret communication through sound alone across long distances. They detect tremors in speech patterns that reveal fear, authority, or uncertainty. A calm voice lowers their guard. A shaky one signals vulnerability. A loud, forced tone communicates desperation, not dominance. Even more astonishing, wolves can distinguish individuals. They know when a voice belongs to a previous hunter, a recurring visitor, or someone entirely new. This memory persists for years. This ability has deep evolutionary roots. Wolves had to track allies and enemies over vast territories, often in total darkness. Their survival depended on recognizing friend or foe by voice alone. If a wolf heard you speaking right now, what emotion do you think it would sense in your voice? Section 4. Wolves build mental maps of the forest. Wolves do not wander aimlessly. They travel with purpose, following invisible paths encoded in their minds. Scientists call this ability cognitive mapping, the creation of a mental blueprint of massive landscapes. A wolf pack may roam 50 to 80 kilometers in a single night, yet they never get lost. They remember every ridge, creek, fallen tree, migration path, and sheltering place they've encountered. And they navigate these routes with a precision that rivals human explorers. Even more impressive, wolves instantly update their internal maps. If a storm knocks down a tree or floods a valley, they adjust their paths without hesitation. Young wolves learn these maps from elders, storing landmarks in long-term memory. When hunting, wolves choose routes that predict prey movement, wind direction, and escape terrain. When escaping threats, they slip into narrow spaces, hidden ravines, or frozen riverbeds they memorized months earlier. Their mental maps also prevent territorial conflict. Wolves know exactly where rival packs roam, marking invisible borders they rarely cross. Only a handful of species, elephants, dolphins, and humans, have mapping skills comparable to wolves. It is a sign not only of intelligence, but of deep environmental connection. If you had to navigate a forest without a map, how far do you think you could go without getting lost? Section 5. Wolves detect emotional tension in other species. Wolves navigate the wilderness with senses so refined that they don't just observe other animals, they feel them. Long before they begin a chase, wolves already know what state their prey is in. A herd of elk, bison, or deer carries emotional signals that ripple through the environment, and wolves pick up every one of them. When elk are calm, the rhythm of their movement is unified. Their hooves strike the ground with evenly spaced vibrations, steady, predictable, confident. But fear breaks this harmony. Subtle tremors run through the soil as hooves shuffle, hesitate, and scatter out of sync. Wolves sense these patterns through their paws like living instruments tuned to the forest's frequency. It doesn't stop with vibrations. A stressed animal releases microscopic particles of adrenaline and cortisol into the air. Humans can't detect these hormonal whispers, but wolves inhale them as easily as breathing. Each breath tells them if the herd is alert, panicked, or disoriented. Wolves use this information not only to hunt, but to decide when not to hunt. A nervous herd may bolt too quickly. A calm one might fight back. But a herd fractured by fear, where individuals are stressed, confused, or separated, is the perfect target. Wolves read emotional instability as opportunity. Even large predators like bears reveal their emotional states through breath patterns, microtremors, and scent shifts. Wolves approach cautiously when a bear is agitated, but will scavenge confidently when its emotional tension drops. This extraordinary ability gives wolves something rare in the animal kingdom: insight into the emotional lives of other species. They don't simply react to behavior. They interpret the unseen currents of fear, anxiety, and readiness long before a chase begins. Do you believe wolves sense emotions through instinct alone, or is there something deeper guiding them? Section 6. Wolves sense betrayal before it happens. Perhaps the darkest and most mysterious wolf behavior is their ability to detect betrayal within their own pack, before any conflict erupts. Wolves rely on trust for survival, and they monitor each other constantly for subtle changes. A wolf planning to challenge the alpha doesn't roar or threaten. The first signs are nearly invisible: a shift in posture, hesitation during feeding, a change in how the wolf walks beside others, or an unusual stillness when the leader moves. But the pack notices. They sense hormonal changes linked to rising aggression. They sense fluctuations in breathing patterns during tension. They feel shifts in social alignment when certain wolves start choosing different resting spots or avoid eye contact. Sometimes the alpha responds with dominance. Sometimes the pack isolates the challenger. And sometimes the betrayal is predicted so early that conflict never occurs. The wolf simply leaves the group. This ability reflects a level of emotional intelligence rivaling primates. Wolves maintain power not through force, but through collective awareness. The pack is a living system, one that detects imbalance long before it becomes danger. Do you think wolves stay loyal because they fear conflict, or because they understand the cost of breaking the pack?